While reflecting on his first term in office, the president says there's no comparison this time. The White House is firing on all cylinders, but despite racking up win after win, if the Democrats win the House in 2026, impeachment number 3 is most definitely on the table.
America has a very big birthday this year, 250 years.
Right.
Have you ever sat to, thought about reflecting on the fact that you're the president now, George Washington was the president many, many years ago, and what that means for you as an American and what it means for the country?
Well, it's so interesting because I was the president and won. We had a great election against Hillary Clinton. Then the next election was rigged like nobody's ever seen, and all the numbers are out, but more are coming out. It was 100% rigged. And the good part is this is such an important presidency, and I'm not sure I could have had the same impact if it were more normalized, because, the impact is big. This has been a very important presidency. It's a much stronger presidency than the first term, and yet the first term we had, I rebuilt the military. I did things that were incredible in the first term, but this, I think, is blowing it away. It's going to blow it away. There is somebody that you are very familiar with that wrote something. I won't mention names. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But they said that, but not somebody that necessarily would write well about me, said this is probably the best first year that a president has ever had. And if you look at that list that you have there, and that's a small version of it, but nobody's done more than we've done. When the biggest tax cuts in history, the biggest regulation cuts in history, all of the military victories that we've had. I mean, we've really, and we're respected all over the world again. I mean, we were laughed at. Think of it. A year and a half ago, we were a joke. We were considered a joke as a nation. A year and a half ago, as the king of Saudi Arabia said, a year and a half ago, you were a dead nation. Now you're the hottest. We are the hottest nation anywhere in the world. And I love saying it. We are now the hottest nation anywhere in the world, and it's not even close.
Is there something that you wanted to happen last year that didn't? Is there something that you think your administration could have done better?
Well, last year, you mean last term?
Last year, you're during your first year in your second term, or during your first term?
Year. So I would say this. I think we're clicking on all cylinders. I don't want to get greedy and say, oh, gee, I wish I could have done this. Crime is at an all-time low, despite the fact that we inherited many criminals from the Biden open border policy. So crime is at an all-time low. Our military is doing unbelievable. We are the most powerful military in the world. We showed that with Iran. If you look at the Iran nuclear attack, we knocked out their nuclear capability, which was a big thing, which led to peace in the Middle East. We actually have peace in the Middle East. Nobody thought that was possible. The recent Venezuela attack was incredible. No, from a military standpoint, strategically, people have never seen anything like it. It's been amazing. So I don't think I can ask for the economy. We have the #1 we have the best economy we've ever had. And by the way, prices are coming way down.
On the economy, you've made it clear that you want to transfer the U.S. economy from one that's based on federal government subsidies and employment to more of a private sector economy. Where are you in that transition process?
Good. I mean, look, I hate to fire people, but we fired hundreds of thousands of federal employees because we had 10 people to do one job. And those people probably didn't like it very much, and now they're in the private sector, and they're getting 2 and 3 times more money, and they're doing well. And the only way a country can make it, you can't have too many government jobs because that's not a job that's going to, as we say, make America great again. So those people have now transitioned into the private sector. I could give you the greatest numbers ever. I'll just hire 1 million or 2 million federal workers tomorrow, and you'll see that we're going to be at 2.5% as opposed to 3% or 3.5%. You could do anything. That's what the Democrats do. They hire people to work in the federal government, then they say they have good unemployment numbers, okay? I don't do that. And it's easy to do, and it looks good, but ultimately you can't build a country that way. Our country is doing unbelievably well. We have great unemployment numbers, and we really, I mean, many of these people have transitioned already from the federal government into private jobs.
You expressed some frustration earlier that your message of your accomplishments is not getting out. Why do you think that is? I mean, you're talking about all these lowered prices, inflation has gone down, mortgage rates are below 6% for the first time in many years. What do you attribute to you feeling like you can't get your accomplishments highlighted?
Inflation is down to a very low number. you want it to be at the number it is at now. Last month, it was down to 1%. And Biden had it, it was the highest inflation in history. And when I inherited this economy that he gave me, the prices were through the roof. I got them down. I mean, most prices are down now. Look at gasoline at $1.99 a gallon versus, I mean, we have many states where it's less than $1.99. It was $4.50, $5, $3.75, I guess, sometimes. But basically, they were many times what it is right now. No, we've done a great job. I think the economy is phenomenal. We're rebuilding the military, continue to rebuild it. And again, right now, we're recognized as having the strongest military in the world. And I rebuilt the military in my first term.
How are you feeling about the midterm elections, the Republican Party? Do you have contingency plans in place if Democrats were to take either the House or the Senate, given that last time when Democrats were in charge of the House, they impeached you?
Oh, and they'll do it again. They'll find something, they'll impeach me for having a good economy or something.
Can you work with some of them, like Elizabeth Warren?
They got nowhere, wasted a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money. It was a terrible thing. They're just very dishonest people. But they impeached me twice, once over a phone call that was absolutely perfect, the other one over perfect. And I will say the Republicans stuck with me 100%. But probably they will try and, it's not, they won't even have to try and fight. They'll take anything I do. They'll say, they'll impeach me because I did an interview with you. They'll impeach me because I looked to that side of the room. These are bad people. These are bad people. You know, when Hillary Clinton did all of the bad stuff, I didn't want to destroy her. I said, I can't do it. And not so much Secretary of State. It was that she's the wife of a president, and I didn't want to do it. And yet they tried to do it to me, which is pretty sad.
Coming up, President Trump's thoughts on doing what he calls the most dangerous job in the world. After 2 attempts on his life, he may be onto something.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.